When we are done with a session, we are basically how that horse is feeling about that session is going to influence the next time when we show up to interact with the horse. And so if every time we're letting go of the horse and we're done with the session and we think, wow, that was great. And as soon as we drop the halter, the horse goes running off or diving for food or has to compulsively, like kind of violently throw itself on the ground and roll and shake and have all this sort of like trying to release all the tension that it had been containing during the session, then we need to recognize that we haven't done enough to help that horse let go of that tension. And so every time we're having an interaction, they are carrying that. And when that horse is carrying that physical tension, we will see unwanted behaviors like the horse who roots with the lead rope. So like you have the halter and lead rope on, you go to draw the horse forward or ask him to stop or any sort of pressure on his head, and you'll see them flip their nose forward. They will also do this with the bit. So riders go to pick up the reins or put pressure on the reins, and the horse flips their nose forward or kind of drags and makes the rider feel like they're water skiing. You will see things when there's tension in the horse where you ask for one step and the horse gives you like one or two little steps, and then all of a sudden there's this huge surge of energy and fleeing forward. You'll see things where you ask the horse for maybe one specific step in one direction and you feel like the horse's hindquarters are like swinging around you, dramatizing or dramatic reaction to whatever you've asked. And even if you're asking really soft and really quiet, the horse is always giving you like all of this excessive movement. All of those things are results. They're not the issue, but they're the symptoms of all of that contained tension. And when the horse isn't helped to learn how to let go of that physical tension, you're just seeing all of this excessive, pushy, dramatic movement all the time. And unfortunately, in a lot of, I'm going to say, training methods and approaches, people are fixated on the unwanted movement. And so they're taught tactics like, here's how you block the horse from going forward, or block the shoulder from drifting, or disengage the hindquarters so he's not pushing, or do this or do that. And it's all about moving the horse's body without ever addressing that the body is reflecting, the behavior is reflecting the horse's mental and emotional state. And if we don't start by getting the horse's brain engaged and focused on what it is that we're asking of them, and we don't check in that he's not on this emotional peak defensive state every time we're asking something, because the more emotional and chaotic the horse is, the less they can hear us, the less directable they are, then we're always going to keep having this unwanted behavior. And unfortunately for a lot of people, they are taught that's just what horses do, as opposed to recognizing that all of this excessive unwanted movement that the horse is giving, and that the kind of constant like having to use stronger aids or more dramatic tack and gear and equipment and more severe bits and so on, you're still only containing the unwanted movement. So it's still in there, even if it seems like maybe temporarily that it's decreasing, we're not actually fixing the root cause. And so in the case of these two horses, they had been through some trainers that you could see had been pretty violent with them. Obviously, when a horse flips over, something has majorly been missed. And so when it's my job to come in and undo that and try and get these horses in a relatively short time to be able to acknowledge that the human is literally sitting there on the other end of the lead rope and be able to resensitize them to pressure. So this is a big one, because I hear a lot of people, and I see a lot of people, especially with fearful horses, traumatized horses, rescue horses, and they want to go through this whole like, let's desensitize the horse, let's move the horse, let's flag the horse, let's do this, let's do that. And to me, if you're taking an animal that's already fearful and defensive and avoidant of the human experience, and we're just adding more chaos and pressure, we're only reinforcing that animal's mental fear. Now, horses have two options to typically of how they cope with things. They're either fleeing, which is the most natural, but when we critique them enough or scare them enough to quit fleeing, they will often stop and they will quit moving, and they will what we call mentally shut down and physically shut down. So they quit moving. You look at their eyes, they're very hard. You look at the ears, they'll be kind of angled back, they'll be tense. You'll look at the breathing, it'll be very heavy, but there's no thinking, there's no response, there's no movement. And then you'll see people brag and go, look how amazing it is. I can tie all this scary stuff to my horse and he won't move. I can crack the bullwhip. I can stand on him with the leaf blower and have it on and he won't respond. Look how great this is. The problem with this is that we are teaching the horse a conditioned response, but we are not teaching the horse to think and function in the real world.